Okay, hello and welcome to the Focus on Real Estate live talk show with me, Charuno Moazba. This is a talk show where we provide valuable and knowledge information on laws, regulation, procedures on buying, selling, and renting and leasing all type of properties in Sierra Leone and beyond. This show hosts different guests who are experts to share their knowledge and experiences on issues relating to real estate industry. And also we look at what the government and other institutions are doing to help solve many problems relating to the real estate industry, talking about problems like the climate change, country planning, environmental protection, and lots more. And for today's episode, we will be focusing on how Islamic financing fits with the first time home buying in America. And why we are actually looking at this topic, we need to know that first-time home buyers often faces a lot of challenges relating to saving for a down payment in closing costs, and these upfront expenses that a first-time home buyer normally looked at it's sometimes they also go a lot of struggle understanding the complex of home buying process, including finding the right property, securing the finances, and navigating real and contractual aspects. In addition, the competitive real estate market and rising property prices in some areas can also be a challenge as well. And how Islamic financing, in other hand, offers solution to first-time home buyers in America is what we'll be looking at for today's episode. And joining me for this amazing discussion, we have with us the Managing Director for Home NYC Group, New York, United States, Mr. Mamadou Barry. Mr. Barry is a realtor and a real estate developer with footprints in Senegal, Guinea, and Sierra Leone as well. Hello and welcome to the show, Mr. Barry.
Hi, thank you for having me. I'm really thrilled and delighted to be amongst your guests, and looking forward to have a fruitful and valuable discussion with you and your team.
All right, thank you very much for making it a point of duty to join us today. So, as I mentioned earlier, Mr. Barry, our topic for today is centered around how Islamic financing fits into the first time home buying in America. But before we actually delve into the topic proper, we understand that Home NYC Group, where you are head of, is a real estate company that is based in New York, but renders brokerage service in Queens, Brooklyn, the Bronx, and Long Island as well. And recently, we understand that Home NYC was rated as one of the top tiers in New York. What else did we not know about Home NYC in terms of how you started and how you got to the point that you have been ranked as a top tier as well?
Okay, first of all, before I go further in explaining to you about my business in our what we're doing, I want to tell you a little bit about me. My name is Mamadou Boy Barry, known as Mamadou Barry. I am a real estate broker and developer based in New York City. I've been doing my business here for the past 25 years. And my main goal has been and still is helping my fellow, Africans, African Americans, people who are based in the US who don't have a knowledge on how to acquire real estate. And thank God for the past decades we've been doing the business. We have helped thousands of families move out of rent and get their own properties in the US. Recently, we were able to move over 200 families from New York City because New York City is getting very expensive. We were successful to move them out of the city to the suburbs of New York, where they can live a very good life with their children and their families, and with a very, very affordable rate. But over the years that we've been doing this business, we understand most of these people we're helping, originally from either Sierra Leone or all the West African countries. They're always eager to have something back home. They want to, get a piece of land or buy a property, a place where they can hopefully, go by to visit families or hopefully get to retire one day. So understanding that, we started expanding our business to, out of the US to West Africa. We are now based in Senegal. We're doing some transactions, businesses in Senegal, and we are also based. We're doing major constructions in Guinea right now as we speak, and we also, have a big footprint now in Sierra Leone, precisely in Freetown. Hopefully, we will get to expand it to the what you call uplines of Sierra Leone. I am a product of Koindu, born and raised. I was one of the victims of the war back in the 90s. We moved from there to Guinea, and Guinea to the US. But recently, I got the chance to visit my homeland, Koindu. It was very saddening and stuff, but we are really looking forward to help, bring about real estate where we can get the people back to that city. But before we get there, maybe starting with our major city, which is Freetown, is vital. Start there and go all the way up. So our country fellow men who are living in the US, they're all looking to get properties in Sierra Leone, and that's why we are trying to venture, in coming and helping them get something back home, with no stress, zero stress if we can. We cannot guarantee 100%, but zero stress if we can. That's our goal. And thank you for the brief introduction. Now, you asked me another question about how we got to the top of the
Yeah.
tiers of New York City. That's really a blessing. We thank the Almighty, Allah, to put us there, because He is the one who gives the wisdom to be able to navigate through all the difficulties and all the hardships to be able to get to your goal. We did not come into this business to try to get rich only. Okay, came into the business to help. We started, matter of fact, our first services in the first years of our business was a charity work, if you want to put it like that. you know but we were successful in helping people, until it become a business. And the other thing also that help us to get to the top tiers, we don't look for the money, we look for the satisfaction of our client, which is one of our mottos. Our client satisfaction is our success. That's how we always put it. So anytime we help someone who never dreamed of having a house in the US or in New York, we always make sure we follow them. We help them manage the property free of charge until they get familiar with it. So the next thing you know, they're referring to another client. That's why we have 100% approval rating from our clients, and they are happy with us. And they always, most of our business is through recommendation also. All right. So I think in order to get to that place, you have to take people interest, put people interest ahead of everything before you put your own. All right. So thank God, it's a blessing. With the help of Allah and the hard work, that's how we got up there. You Google Homes NYC today, amongst the best real estate services in New York, we will pop out. And thank you for that point.
All right, Mr. Barry, again, just as you mentioned, your achievement ranging from the activities that you've engaged in the New York City, and how you have able to expand your reach to West Africa as well. Then when it comes to providing real estate services as a company, you are into different markets. Just as I mentioned, you are rendering various different services as a company, and you are also into development as well. You also mentioned that, especially in Guinea, Senegal, and Sierra Leone as well. So what are some of your challenges and success stories so far, being that you are involved in different markets?
Okay. Oh, that's a very good question, and it's a very long question. I can spend the whole day
Yeah.
talking to you about challenges because I've ventured different markets right now. But
Yeah.
what we will do, I will try to summarize it. Okay, let's start with
Okay.
the US first. First of all, when we started this venture, it was very few people who knew about real estate, because we have I don't know how, if I can call that a myth in our culture. We know whenever someone goes and buy a house, that means they're staying there for the rest of their life. They're going to die there. That's what we have in our culture, right?
Yeah.
But what people don't understand, so people had that same mentality. So you have to convince them now, people who came here to try to get a good living and go back home, right? Some
Yeah.
people, they come here only to get what we call mananko, right? To get
Mm-hmm.
a capital so they can do
That's all.
business. Some people come here, they come to get education and go back home. So if you tell that person to buy a house, it's another way telling him, hey, why don't you live here for the rest of your life? You know, so you have to break that ice. You have to make them understand, listen, a house in the US is purely business. I don't care how beautiful your house is. I don't care how big or small your house is. A house is a pure business. That's like going to the market. You buy a piece of gold, all right, you keep it, you use it until the day you tired with it, you just sell it back. And and the good thing about that one, when you're selling it back, you will never sell it the price you purchase it from. You're going to sell it for more. So that's how real estate is here. All right. So people thought if you take also, like a mortgage, right? A loan to buy a house, it's going to take you 30 years to pay it back. So we make them understand. You have to make them understand it's not the game. It's not the case. Because in America, you can, you can buy a house, and let's say you leave it in for 5 years. Let's say you buy the house today, you went to the bank and get from the bank 500, let's say $100,000, and you stay in the house for 5 years. By 5 years, the house is worth 250, and the loan you took from the bank is only 100,000. You can
All right. Okay, we are trying to join Mr. Mamadou again once more. I think he's having there a few technical challenge, and he was actually narrating how they started in the US as a company. And we've mentioned a lot of their footprints that they have engaged in, especially the development they are currently engaging in West Africa as well, that of Senegal, Guinea, and Sierra Leone as well. And as he mentioned, okay, we think we have him now on board. Hello, Mr. Barry.
hello.
All right, welcome back. Yes, sir. Continue.
Yeah. Sorry about that. We got disconnected.
Oh,
So what I
all right.
was saying is, so you have to. What people don't understand is buying a house in the US is more like business, right? So
Yeah.
let's say you go to the bank, you take $100,000, you buy a house, and you live in the house for 5 years, and the house is worth $150,000. You can still go back to the same bank. You have the choice of doing two things. You can sell that house, you pay the bank the $100,000 you took from them. Hopefully by then you've paid some of the money, maybe 90,000. You give them back 90,000. The rest is yours. Okay, you move on. Or you go to the bank, tell them, Mr. Bank, my house is worth 250,000. Now out of that 250, I only owe you 100. I want you to give me $100,000. They will give you that $100,000 and still allow you to live in the same house. Okay,
Yeah.
so you have to convince them. Now you have to convince them so they understand all of this. So that's one of the challenge, to convince people to buy a house and make them understand you don't buy this to live for the rest of your life. That's one. Secondly, make them understand if you buy the house, you are able to pay for it in 1 year if you have the means. You are able to pay for it in 1 year if you have the means. That's another challenge. Now talking about Africa, is Africa. There's we have a lot of chance. We have a lot of chance in Senegal, Sierra Leone, or Guinea. We have a lot of opportunity to develop real estate, help the diaspora mainly, because those are the people we are focused on for the big movement being, because those are the people we know. those are the ones who are crying to get something back home all the time. So we try to get them stuff with zero stress. But one of the challenges we came across, like if I take for instance in Guinea, we are doing a lot of projects right now, is the human resource that's missing a lot. You know, it's very difficult to find people who can do things the way you ask them to do, who are capable of doing it. And you really don't want to import experts to come in and do common things. You know, that's one. Secondly, a lot of people also lack of seriousness. That's another big challenge. And sometimes, you know, you don't have the best leadership to help you navigate through these opportunities. So, we are able to some of them to walk around them to try to address these challenges. Talk to people. Have leaders who are more into development to help you push you through and encourage you also as a local, all right, to realize some of these issues. But we've had a lot of challenges, but alhamdulillah, we're able to get through many of them, and many of the projects are successful, and we are looking forward to really expand it and make it as a focus point in Sierra Leone.
Okay, Mr. White, thanks very much for sharing that with us as well. And also, we've been joined by Salman Ruiz, he is also an expert that will be taking us through the aspect of Islamic financing. And also, Mr. Salman, welcome to Focus on Real Estate Salon Show.
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you for having me, brother.
All right, now. Okay, so Mr. Salman will be continuing the program with you now, because we understand that Home NYC Group is also coming with an event for the first first-time home buyers in America, and you are interacting with Islamic financing. You are integrating this seminar with Islamic financing as well. So, for the benefit of those who don't know how much more about Islamic financing, can you please tell us what is Islamic financing and how first-time home buyers can benefit from it?
Sure, absolutely, inshallah. Jazakallah for having me, brothers. Assalamu alaikum to the audience, my dear respected brothers and sisters. Alhamdulillah, in the U.S., Islamic financing is real. It's here to stay, it's growing, and with the support of our community, our ummah, and asking and demanding for this, Islamic financing is here to stay. And mashallah, I'll tell you this, once upon a time, Islamic financing in the U.S. was not easy. It was not cheap. It was almost non-existent. But over the past 10 to 15 years, with increase of demand, with companies competing for your business, mashallah, now we have true Sharia compliant solutions where you don't have to compromise your faith to finance a home in the U.S. It's not easy to purchase a home all in cash. I know my own father, he lived in America 30 years, and he never was able to buy a home. Every time he was able to save up enough money, the homes got more expensive and more expensive. So without Islamic financing, he wasn't able to kind of fulfill that dream. Islamic financing is a very simple process. It's been around for 1,500 years. There's many models of Islamic financing. In Islam, the simple concept is that if I lend you money, I cannot take profit on it. Any dollar I take on top is haram for you and for me. So going to the bank, you are borrowing money. The bank is lending you money. The contract that you're signing is an interest-based contract. This contract is where you promise to pay interest on the money that you have borrowed, which is riba, right? When as Muslims, we have to avoid this. So there are many models of Islamic financing that's available. At UIF, University Islamic Financial, we use the model of musharaka, the musharaka model of financing. This is a partnership agreement. In this agreement, the way financing works is, let's say we're buying a $100,000 house. The $100,000 house, you agree to put down 10%, we put down 90%. Together, we purchase this home. Now, monthly, you're going to make payments to us. A portion of your payment is going to buy out my share. So my 90 becomes 89, 88, 87 until you buy out all of my shares. Now in Islam, I can buy something and sell it to you and make money. I can buy something and rent it to you and make money. So how we make our money on this deal is with our profit payments, right? So a portion of your payment is buying out my shares. The other portion of your payment is paying me to live in my, say, 90% the first month, then 89, then 88. Now, usually these contracts are 15 years, 30 years. We have options of 10 and 20 years as well. But you're able to make payments as fast as you can. As Brother Mamadou mentioned earlier, that if you can pay it off, you have the means to pay it off in a year, by all means, you will pay us less profit. There's never a prepayment penalty. So even if you start with a 30-year contract and you pay it off in 5, there's no fees or penalties to you. So in a nutshell, brother, in Islamic financing, there's many models of financing. With the Musharaka model, you use a partnership model. So you're not borrowing money. I'm not lending you money. You're not borrowing money from me. Together as partners, we come together to purchase the property. Over time, you buy out my shares, and then the property is yours.
All right, Mr. Salman, thanks very much for sharing these valuable insights with us in this particular show. So I'm heading now to Mr. Barry as well. Mr. Barry, being that you've, let me say, you've operated both in the US and also you've been to Sierra Leone as well, do you consider the absence of this financing option in Sierra Leone a viable challenge?
Yes, in Sierra Leone, hello, am I audible?
Yeah.
Okay.
The sound is
in
okay.
Sierra Leone, absence of finance is a big challenge, period. And the reason for that, I think, is the interest rate is extremely high. It's extremely high. That is something, that will be very beneficial if you are able to do it. Because like I said, we are focused on the diaspora, on our project in Sierra Leone, because we understand the diaspora always have challenges where they send money to relatives, to do some businesses for them, but to build houses for them. But unfortunately, it's either some relatives don't build what they asked to do, or they don't do the thing properly, or sometimes they don't build at all. And the owner will come back home to nothing. You come back, there's nothing to present them. So if they are able to buy a finished product through financing, and they are able to repay it monthly in installment, that will be excellent. I think that will boost the real estate for the country. Now that will also boost the economy in general for the country. But the way it stands right now, I believe there's a lot of temptation for it. But unfortunately, there is no, the interest rate is extremely high, where you're talking about 15, 16, 17 to 18% return. That is too high. In the US, Brother Salman will tell you, in the US right now is the most expensive time for mortgages. All right, but we are around, it's hovering around 8%. It could be a little bit high, it could be a little bit low. It's hovering around 8%. But Brother Salman is here to get a better clearance on that. But even that is a big challenge for the people in the West. However, if we can get something like that in Sierra Leone, is excellent. I mean, if we can find any investor or any bank or anyone who is willing to accompany on that and bring Islamic financing to Sierra Leone, believe me, that will boost the economy, because it doesn't exist. So yeah. So that's my take on that. Thank you.
All right. Okay. Mr. Bai will be looking at this seminar in a short while, but let's also join Mr. Salman as well to briefly take us through the principles of Islamic financing.
Sure. So when we talk about Islamic financing, the number one principle is to avoid riba. Islamic financing is not just about avoiding riba, though. It's about ethical business practices. It's about transparent business practices. It's about doing the right thing. In 2008, when this huge mortgage crisis happened globally, mashallah, the countries that were based on the fundamentals of Islamic and Sharia law, uh, they held much better. They did much better through the storm. And a lot of the banks in the Western world, they were studying, hey, what is different about Islamic financing? And it comes down to core principle values, right? We as Muslims, where we need to do business in an ethical way. Business is permissible. Trade and business is permissible. Riba is not. So when you go through Islamic financing, you're making sure that you are doing fair business, right? Even though the rate may be 8%, 10%, 5%, you're not taking advantage of customers. You're not penalizing them if they're going through a hardship. One of the biggest differences in Islamic financing and traditional financing is what happens if you and we come to an agreement to purchase this home, and something bad happens, right? 5 years later, we bought this house today for $100,000. You put down 10,000, I put down 90,000, and 5 years later, you now own 15% of the property. I own 85% of the property, and we have to sell it because you lost your job, you got ill, something happened. 3 months, 6 months, we work with you, waive late fees, but push things to the end of the mortgage contract, and you're still unable to make payments. 12 months later, you're like, well, Salman, I can't make the payments anymore. In traditional mortgage, what'll happen is the mortgage company is going to take your rate from 8% to 20% and foreclose on your property. They're going to make you sell the property. Now, let's just say it happens to be in a time where this $100,000 property 5 years later actually sells for $60,000. Well, in this case, with a regular bank, what they do is they're going to increase your penalties. They're going to charge you higher fees. And then they're going to sell the house for $60,000. They're going to come after you for that deficit. That deficit, they're going to garnish your paycheck, come after your cars, your other assets. In Islamic financing, once you sell the property at 60,000, khalas, that's it. We take the loss of $25,000, right? The house sold for 60. We take that 60,000 out, that $25,000. We're not going to come after you, your assets, because as someone going through a hardship, I shouldn't be trying to profit on your loss, right? So Islamic financing is much more than just no interest and no riba.
All right, Mr. Salman, thanks very much. Still on the Islamic financing aspect. So how Islamic financing actually facilitates home ownership for first-time buyers?
So with first-time home buyers, the nice thing is we offer programs where you can purchase a home with as little as 3 to 5% down. So if you're buying $100,000 house, you could potentially put down just $3,000, and we will put down $97,000 and buy this $100,000 property together. Right? And I keep going back to this 100,000 example, but we can finance much more than that. We can finance up to $2 million in properties in financing. So we do primary homes for you to live in. We also do second home investment properties. We do single family, multifamily, condos. So alhamdulillah, we offer much more than just first-time home buyers. But as a first-time home buyer, the benefit is you get more attractive rates, you get lower down payments, so long as you qualify for it. That's one of the things that I get asked a lot as from a first-time home buyer. What do I need? So we look at your credit, we look at your income, and we look at your down payment. These three core items are very important when seeing, hey, can we help this brother or sister buy their first home?
All right. Thanks very much, Mr. Salman, for sharing this with us. And we are moving to Mr. Barry as well. Mr. Barry, talking about Islamic financing, can you also share with us any successful case studies of home buyers who have leveraged Islamic financing through Home NYC?
Oh my God! If thank you also for bringing me back to question. But if you
Yeah.
ask me, out of the thousands and thousands of people we help, is hundreds. We have a lot of successful, clients who went through Islamic financing and it worked absolutely fine for them. And thank God, Alhamdulillah, out of these thousands we did, we have zero, uh, default.
Alhamdulillah.
Okay.
Zero default. So what the brother tried to explain is, let's say you buy the house for $100,000 and the market goes south, like everything go down. The house is not worth, instead of going up to $200,000, it comes down to $50,000. But the bank lend you 100,000 or 90,000 for that matter. Let's say the bank take the house back and they sell it. They sell it for $50,000. You still have another $40,000 to pay. Usually they go after you. So the Islamic financing is saving you from going through that word. I mean, through that hurdle. You already lost. Why would someone come back after you again to get more money? You know. So the Islamic financing is saving you from that stress. That's one. Another thing also, the brother just told you, they're going into partnership with you as a client. First of all, the minimum down payment is very important. Let's say you want to buy a house. That means if you want to buy $1 million house, you only need $30,000 plus closing cost. You only need $30,000. You live in $1 million house. They finance you the rest. All right. They're going into partnership with you. So in this case, you're not signing that they're lending you money. Because that's one of the major difference also between the Islamic financing and other financing.
Okay.
Non-Islamic financing. They say precisely they're helping you buy a house, but they're lending you the money against the house. So you're signing a document called the note that they didn't lend you money. So in this case, it's a different partnership you sign. If I'm correct, brother, right?
Yes.
So that's another major issue also. So Alhamdulillah, we're looking for something halal, okay? And the Islamic bank is compliant with the Sharia laws and all the good stuff. So you have a peace of mind. You're not worried. So definitely we have a lot of successful stories where brothers bought it. It doesn't even make a difference, and thank God they didn't get to a point where they're going to be stressed out, where the Islamic loan comes into play. Whereas you sell the house, you cannot pay all the loan, then they have to go after you. We didn't get to that point yet, Alhamdulillah. But at least you know that in the back of your mind, God forbid something happen, your other assets are safe. So that's my point.
All right. Still with you, Mr. Barry. I think we need to delve now a little bit into the seminar that you'll be having. Maybe take us through the seminar that you'll be having. Give us our viewers out there more details and why someone out there think that he or she might be interested to actually attend that seminar. What are some of the packages involved?
Thank you very much for the question. Yes, so in this seminar, it's very important for people to attend. Like I told you, we started this business by charity, by helping freelance, right? And how we did it is going through these seminars, calling people, explaining, because what they say, the more information you have, the more knowledge you have about something, the easier it becomes for you. So it's the same thing as real estate also. A lot of people are sitting right now into rental homes. They think they will never be able to buy. I've had stories upon stories where clients came to me. They told me they went to a store, to get furniture. They were declined. They went to take a loan for a bicycle or motorcycle. They could not approve them. They come here, they come to us, we help them buy. you know they didn't have enough information, so we organized this seminar to explain to the community that this is possible. By the way, you don't have to be a Muslim to take advantage of this loan. Okay, you just have to be a qualified buyer. It's an Islamic Sharia compliant loan, but it's for everybody. Okay, so that's why we're putting out the information for people to come and get explanation from the source. Brother Salman here will explain how the Sharia loan works. And we're going to have also our attorney, Mr. Afar Baksh, who is going to be explaining also on the legal aspect of the whole transaction, how the laws protect the buyer, their rights of owning a home, and all the nine there, to make sure they are fully protected. And we also going to have a credit repair professional who, because in America or in the West, it's going to be very difficult or nearly impossible to approve someone for a loan if you don't have a good credit. Now we're going to have an expert there on site who will explain if you have any issue with your credit, how to fix your credit and make sure you are approved, to get a loan. So you see some of our country people, for the slightest thing, they will damage your credit. Sometimes they took a phone without paying a $5 phone bill. Sometimes association by name, like, we have, like, when you say Mamadou Bari, you have a lot of Mamadou Baris, or Mohammed. You have a lot of similar names. Sometimes they cross match. Let's say the credit companies, they see a Mamadou living in the same address as mine. They think it's the same person. They just take his debts, they attach it to my name because the names are similar. But when a credit repair professional sees that, they know how to address it and fix it, make sure you are approved for the loan. That's third. Finally, you're going to have all the agents and the professionals of Homes NYC Group. Our team is very vast. We have people who speak different languages, from Spanish to Arabic to Fulani to Creole. We can talk Creole as well. Okay, to all, you name it. We speak all the local languages to explain to you, and we all live in different boroughs: Brooklyn, Bronx, Queens, Long Island. We will explain to you the neighborhoods, how the neighborhoods are set up. We explain to you where the value of real estate is going. If you cannot afford the city, we will suggest for you nearby cities that you can live in a peaceful neighborhood with very affordable properties. All right, so you're going to have all these packages there waiting for you. And finally, one person going to have the chance of winning a 65-inch TV. It could be any one of you. All right, we're going to have a raffle. We're going to give away a 65 high-resolution TV, and we're also going to give away a tablet, a nice tablet, and we will give away also a lot of little let me see, like this is like cups and stuff coming from Homes NYC,
customized ones,
cold or hot, your coffee. Yes, exactly, customized, brand new. We're going to give a lot of this away also to some of the so all of that, you're going to get information, and you're going to get valuable stuff to go with home, inshallah.
Okay, so how about the dates and the venue, the time, all of those?
The date is going to be on the 28th.
Okay.
It'll be tomorrow, and it's going to be hosted. It's going to take place in the Bronx, 1138 Washington Avenue. That's 1138 Washington Avenue. And we're going to share our numbers also if you need to contact us directly to give you the details on that, And it's going to be 2:00 on the dot, 1400 hours. Okay, 2:00 on the dot, 2 p.m. That is when we're going to start the meeting. If you have the hall will be open from 12 p.m. It's going to be open. So if you're interested, if anyone is interested in attending, we're going to share our phone numbers, and they can, call us. We'll give them direction. We will give them detail on how it works. So I don't know if the brother want to add something to that for the event.
No, Islamic and mashallah, you covered it all. We will be there full. We're going to cover about UIF. Who is UIF? Mashallah, we are not just a home financing company. We offer a lot more to our community. Everything that we offer is completely Sharia compliant. So we're going to discuss some of the other products that we offer. We do residential financing, commercial financing, masjid financing. We've recently launched vehicle financing, where you can also finance vehicles through us. And lastly, we recently launched a very successful program where you can invest your money with us. Right now, your money sits in a bank account. Even if you and me, we tell the bank we don't want interest because we are Muslims, that we are Muslims, we cannot engage in riba, keep the interest. These banks are profiting on our money. They're lending it to other people. So instead of keeping your money there, you can actually open a time deposit account with us and get a halal return on your money, where you will partner up with us and our customers in these transactions that we do and earn a halal income as well. So we're going to dive into a lot of these different topics that we offer, talking about how to pre-qualify, how to get approved, what the steps of becoming a homeowner are. And with the team that we have available, mashallah, we'll have a very knowledgeable, engaging conversation with everyone.
All right. Okay, Mr. Salman, I think we are almost rounding up now, but we have a comment from YouTube, Asad Raza. He's saying, can you talk about life insurance in West to protect your family from unforeseen setbacks arising from life tragedy, injury, or sickness that can potentially destroy ability to earn income? I think that's from YouTube. I don't know if you have anything to say with regards to that, or Mr. Bai.
So I can answer. Brother Asad is asking
Yes.
about life insurance in the West. So unfortunately, to my knowledge, we don't have a solution like that. The Kaful programs offer different types of insurances. And inshallah, we are working on it. We are working on it. There is a need, and we have to provide it so our brothers and sisters don't have to compromise their faith to feel protected.
All right. Thanks very much, Mr. Salman Rizwan, and also Mr. Mamadou Bari, for making it a point of duty to be here with us today. This is how we are bringing the cutting down of today's episode. We want to say we really appreciated it. And all of these things that you've shared with us today, it's very relevant, not only for those who reside in New York City, but also I think Sierra Leoneans also have benefited from this Islamic financing aspect, even though it's not in Sierra Leone, but it's something that I think we will be working towards together with you in the US to see how best we can implement similar ideas as well. So thanks very much for joining us. We really appreciated it. And this is how we've successfully come to the end of today's episode. And viewers out there, if you have any other comments, questions, and recommendation, you can kindly share them with us, and we are going to be addressing them in our different episodes that we'll be having. And don't forget to follow us on all our social media platforms, especially on YouTube. Yeah, Mr. Bai, Mr. Salman, thanks very
so
much.
what I want to, I want to say, I really want to give my phone number. We're going to have phone numbers if someone want to register for the event. Mine,
no
we have WhatsApp. I have WhatsApp on the number, or you can call me directly. That is +1, and the phone number is 347-236-6136. That's +1 347-236-6136. If anyone is interested in registering for the events, in the US, please feel free to call us. Or if you have any question, feel free to call us. We will happily answer you. And also, just so you know, for Sierra Leone, inshallah, we will do our best to get this type of financing in Sierra Leone and make sure people enjoy, the partnership with this bank to help purchase properties, because that's how the West is developing, through, partnership. Inshallah, we will do our best. We'll go through all means to make sure it happens in Sierra Leone, inshallah.
All right, it's something that we are looking forward to, inshallah, as well. So thanks very much, my honorable guest, for this wonderful insight. So, as I said, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, and never to miss any updates with regards to Focus on Real Estate Salon Talk Show. I've been your amazing host, Cherno Moazba, and till we meet again, I'm saying Ma'as salam.
Assalamu alaikum.